Welcome back.
We are so back.
Think Strong Pod. It's a return.
Yeah.
I was looking back. I think our last pod was 2023, November.
Feels like about 3 weeks ago.
So yeah, a little bit of background. We're obviously back, but we started the pod in 2023. Early 2023?
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty close to the decision that we made that we were going to come to Bali.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, this is a perfect run in.
Yeah.
It kind of took off from there. We got stuck into it from there.
Yeah. I think we have 6 episodes up, maybe 6 to 8.
Yeah,
Probably
because
we've got that before.
Yeah, we've got some on Spotify, haven't we?
Yeah.
But I think a few more on YouTube as well.
Yeah. Nice. A little bit of background about the pod and kind of what we're about. Fitness as kind of an underpinning topic. Anything fitness related, general lifestyle, motivation. People that need to kick up the arse.
Yeah. All of the above and probably a whole lot more. I always, I've been thinking, because I've been listening to a lot of comedy podcasts, how we almost need to preface this as a comedy podcast, because then you can just get away with saying the most diabolical take on absolutely anything in the world of affairs and be like, yeah, it's a comedy podcast.
It's a comedy podcast, you can get away with it.
So yeah, that might be good just to put it out there to start with. Yeah. Comedy as well.
Well, at least we'll find it funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of nearly 2 years away from the mic, so to speak, in person, but a lot's happened since then. So we started the pod together in England. You were coaching. You'd fully transitioned by that point, I think, online. And I was like just transitioning online and kind of still doing some in-person PT as well. I can't actually remember how the conversation went, but it was, you wanted to move away, weren't quite sure where you were going to go, and I was like, oh well, me and Hats are going to be moving to Bali for 3 months, 6 months, and you were like, fuck it, I'll do that as well.
Yeah, no, that was exactly it. It was a case of I needed to get somewhere where there was going to be a bit more of a network of people doing a similar thing, pushing each other forwards with regards to business, fitness, and being a bit more of a fitness community. And in the UK, it's kind of London or not a lot else. I mean, there is kind of small sub community, subcultures in different cities, but when you're weighing it up, for me it was abroad or London, so it was like, well, I'd much rather go abroad, I think. And it was a good suggestion, I think.
I think we obviously moved here with the intention of that, but we didn't realise how good of a space it would be with like just being surrounded by people in the fitness industry and outside that can help with whatever it might be, like finance advice, like investing, fitness, business, whatever it might be.
I mean, you probably had an inkling with regards to the fitness scene just on its own, because you'd been before to the gym. That was kind of our foot in the door as to how good it was going to be, or kind of the idea behind it at least. But then maybe since actually coming here, all of that other stuff kind of unfolded as well.
And I think obviously the first time I came in, the gym was pretty small. Well, not small, it was big, but smaller than what it is now.
Yeah, so even the fitness scene has changed within that time as well,
And I think even within our 2 years here, we've noticed how much busier it has got.
As an island as well, not just a...
Yeah, as an island, it's been nuts to see the kind of growth.
Yeah.
A few of our previous episodes, we could go back to a few topics there that we covered. The first one was a little bit about just ourselves and our backgrounds. Both come from sport. You're rugby, I'm football. Similar, we both had a trade. And we thought, fuck that, let's get out of it. And then into the coaching space. Talk a little bit now about who Aaron Forrest is and what he does now.
Completely online with my coaching. As you said, sports background, and that kind of underpins a lot of what I do, even though now I'm focused on CrossFit, not so much rugby, but like the principles and the things that I learned from training for performance and also training other people for performance, because there was a lot of friends that I was coaching starting out, whether it was in football or rugby, that kind of really formed the building blocks of everything, but also gave me quite a varied experience or a varied first rung of the ladder almost, rather than being pigeonholed to start with. And this kind of bled into everything I do now. But now with regards to my own fitness, I'm just pushing towards kind of independent competitions, and have been for a little while now. And just kind of exploring that, and as I learn more about myself from the performance side of things, that feeds into my coaching and therefore other people's performance side of things as well. Like my main demographic with regards to the people I coach with CrossFit is whether it's people wanting to move up a level because they need to unlock new movements or tidy up certain movements. There's that, but then there's also people that want to maybe move up a level and take their whole athletic ability to the next level, and they might not have had that exposure to something which is slightly more advanced, and can help them through that and help them through the kind of preparation and process of that as well. Yeah,
I think there's a lot to be said from like growing through what you go through, which you do really well. With your own fitness and stuff before, it was more, I know you did some team competitions, pairs. Tell us a little bit about CrossFit semi-finals teams.
Yeah, so it was all kind of intertwined with a random trip to Bali, and kind of followed in the same nature of that as being a bit of a surprise. But we did the Open in February, would have been 2024, so we would have been here by 4 months by that stage. And all of a sudden there was word around the gym, we might try and put in a team. So the people that finished top of the leaderboard, we were going to go into a team and see what happens when it comes to semi-finals. And there was obviously still quarterfinals at that stage.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a head-to-head with you and Sam, a friend of the pod.
Yeah, Sam, head coach at Bamboo. Yeah, and we were going to get stuck into a bit of a throwdown. And what did he ripped his hand and had a psoas injury at the same time after the first workout. So he was like, you just do it. Well, all right then. So yeah, we went through the throwdown, did the quarterfinals online in the gym, which are coming back to CrossFit, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, apparently it's just been announced. But did those online. Those
were doing the practicing the worm with a barbell again.
Oh yeah, I could do with that.
Bali modifications.
Yeah, that was actually prep for the semi-finals, so that was the kind of the next step. So we'd done the quarterfinals, looked on the leaderboard. Yes, we're going to qualify, and that meant going to Korea. Obviously, never in my wildest dreams or even like entertain the idea of going to Korea. So I thought, that's pretty cool.
South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea, by the way. Yeah. Staying fully out of the DMZ, we got invited to go and compete at the Far East Throwdown, which is the semi-finals comp for Asia. But at
where was it again? Busan.
Busan, it was called. Yeah. Which, interesting fact, I learned while I was there. That was like the last place that South Korea held on to during the Korean War.
Oh,
because
really?
North Korea took the lot, and that's like at the most southerly point.
Yeah. It's like a really built up, like man-made area. Is that right?
Yeah, like man-made beaches, massive skyscrapers everywhere. But it almost sits quite low in the landscape of the place. So yeah, quite an interesting place to go to.
Don't eat from the food markets. Is that right?
Yeah, that's as some of our travelling party found out. Luckily, no one that was competing, but there was people putting it through the eye of a needle by the second day in Korea. So I was grateful I wasn't one of those. But yeah, so that was the semi-finals that year. But obviously, that year was including Russia, the Middle East, and yeah, I think those regions were classed as Asia as well. So really good to compete against quite a broad spectrum of countries, essentially, continents really. And finished up 5th, I think, out of all of them, and really good experience to go and kind of throw down at a decent level when it was a complete surprise from the get-go, to be honest. So
what a cool experience. And then off the back of that, you're going to focus now on more individual stuff.
Yeah.
Any murmurs of a team next year?
Not I've heard. I've heard.
We have an ex-French weightlifter at the gym who's been to the Olympics for France, and he's yesterday actually mentioned to me that he wants to do teams.
Oh yeah,
and he'll be here. So whether or not he wants to make the team or not, that would be quite interesting.
I saw him have 3 attempts at a block snatch at 160 after about a 5-minute period of building load the other day. So I don't think the barbell's going to challenge him too much in any way at the Asian semis.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, for myself, like throughout last year and this year, just a case of putting a bit more time into the independent competitions because it supports business a little bit as well. We're not necessarily with regards to me competing, but also to show my face and be a part of the kind of CrossFit community, whether it is in the UK or whether it is in Asia or I mean, next one I've got is going to be in New Zealand, so fairly well spread. Yeah,
it's great. And I think moving out here, we've had to look further afield for online clients and stuff like that. So yes, open the doors to people from Australia, Singapore. Obviously the touch point is like a lot of people come here, don't they, and travel back and go away with good experiences of meeting people or whatever. So I think that's been quite good for business as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a hub here for fitness because of the gym and the fitness community. There's also in other parts of Bali as well. Canggu's got a lot of gyms.
Yeah.
And it seems like the run club kind of culture is booming up there. And yeah, like you can almost draw
the
like
in-person dating app.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
As it's now referred to, Run Club.
Yeah, in-person Hinge. But there seems to be like a diagonal line across the globe that people are coming to Bali through, like all the way from kind of New Zealand through Indonesia, Middle East onto Europe, which obviously there's people coming from all over, but it's quite cool to see.
Yeah, it's cool. Talk a little bit about where you want your business to go from here.
Yeah, I mean, just hopefully continue like the steady incline that we've been on, but I think probably me and you can both speak to the fact that it's like any business that it's always going to be up and down, no matter kind of how much of a good run you have, you're never going to maintain this constant incline every single month.
Yeah,
it's very much like training, like a lot
fitness
of things.
Is very seasonal, isn't it,
Yeah.
For the people that you coach, whether it's an athlete that's in season or out of season, or someone general population who has high motivation and wants to be disciplined until the sun's out and the beer garden's cooling, or it's cold and Christmas is there.
Yeah, that's right. And even for people which are like really committed all year round, like they're going to be committed to something for a period of time. You can't rely on constant. People constantly wanting to change, jump ship and jump on something new. I think
from your clientele now that you have from where they were maybe 2 years ago, it was more general population before that were wanting to get a little bit better at CrossFit, but now you've probably got a lot more still general population, but they're more meaningful athletes in terms of what they want to achieve and the goal in mind.
Yeah, that's it. And I think as time goes by, whether you're in as time goes by in business, you become more direct with the people that you know you can help. Your niche, your demographic gets zeroed in, and then all of your content, the message that you convey starts to speak more directly to those people. And it's just that's like all part of the 1% which kind of mount up, which aren't that easy to see at the start.
But I think being that generalist at the beginning is really, like, for anyone starting out that's listening, it's really useful to just get as many tools in your tool belt as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Coach like Janice, who's 54 and wants to get a little bit healthier, and she'll teach you lessons that you can take to your CrossFit athletes one day. Do you know what I mean? It's like whether it's coaching someone for high rocks, body composition, fat loss, CrossFit, that is all built into now making you a better CrossFit coach online. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And being able to channel all of that, all of them people there now.
Yeah. And the way, even like the soft skills with coaching someone in person as well, we're probably big advocates of having coaching experience before you do go online. And just the way you convey a message to different people. If you're not getting reps of that in in person, you might struggle to convey a tone when you're not even face to face with a person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, being able to use your words well and
I mean, it's massive, isn't it?
get a meaningful outcome rather than just spilling your knowledge onto someone. That's two very different things, aren't they?
Because all you have online is your delivery, right?
Yeah.
Your delivery and then your feedback after like said delivery that you've already given. So if you're not getting the message across well to begin with, it's going to make that job even harder. And like you said, if you haven't had that experience before in person, it can be very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of something we're going to touch on in coming episodes, is like your kind of ability to convey a message to the right people that you're coaching, but also your knowledge. Is that correct for the people that you're coaching? Yeah. But I've had experiences with other coaches where that delivery side of things has just been like a little bit slack, and that's one of the reasons why it is so good to experience other people in the industry, so you know how to so you know the errors, you know where to perfect things for yourself, so you can take any unnecessary guesswork out of things. And not just guesswork as in, I'm giving you a movement or a structure to follow in the gym, like that should be that should go without saying, but also like how you write things to alleviate any questions, any like just unnecessary
any like barriers or friction.
Like everyone's energy and time is finite throughout the week. You don't want your clients to be wasting their time and asking you like, what do you mean by this every single session. Obviously it's going to happen sometimes, but like the more clear cut, the more accurate you can be with your delivery, the more time you can spend on refining the things that actually matter. Yeah,
definitely. That's something that's been really good for me, coaching in person. In England, everyone's very same as me and you, pretty monotone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now working in a more like hospitality fitness space, it's about that charisma, building a relationship with someone very quickly, using like verbal, visual, tactile cueing. Something that you can't always do online, but it's something that you can do through your feedback.
Yeah.
When done well, obviously. But yeah, in person it's been good to develop that as well.
Yeah, because you're potentially the time when you're coaching someone in a class can be even less, can't it? You've got to walk up to someone, give them a cue win 5 seconds, get there to understand it and to be able to execute it properly, because you've then got to move on to something else, or the clock might be ticking. So
I think in person the biggest thing for me was going from seeing like in weightlifting, seeing like hugely gross errors, which everybody should be able to see, to errors that are not as glaring to the eye, and then dialing that in even more, and being able to be exposed to people that are very good at weightlifting here as well, and seeing the smaller like minute details that need to be addressed. But like you said, in that it has to be done fast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's been something that I've been working on developing since I've been here, which is good. I mean, in the classes I coach, there's at least 4 lots of weightlifting per week that I'll potentially coach, like a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, if I'm not on like a double shift. So that over the 2 years has been a lot of exposure to weightlifting coaching, which has been great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think when you get to that level, like you say, when you are obviously dealing with really big errors, you're obviously finding ways to correct them, but then sometimes you'll be looking at things where you're like, that looked really good, but it doesn't mean that it can't be better.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have a cue for someone, it's like, I'm going to ask a question about a bias that they have, or about an element of their technique that they have, and that's what's going to maybe spark conversation and maybe get them to think about something that's that could be potentially better, rather than attacking at it from one angle. Just because it seems all good doesn't mean you can hang your coaching boots up and call it a day.
And most people want to be coached that are still at that like higher end level as well, which is good. We had like a few people in, Lauren Fisher, she's heavily pregnant now, but she's been to the games maybe like 9 times. She came in, was just like jumped in a CrossFit class. She was like loved being coached and being in the mix, which was cool to see. Someone that's been there and done it. And other people that come in love to be coached as well, which is good. Let's go into a little bit less coaching talk and more just about the 2 years and how it's been. First year we got here, wet season was non-existent. It was literally sun, wasn't it, for like a whole year?
Yeah, like if you were unlucky, 20 minutes of rain at 6 a.m. and then it would always be clear by 10 a.m. Yeah, bright sunshine again.
It's literally insane. And then contrast to kind of last year's rainy season. Well, rainy season runs from like November to February. Yeah, mostly. It was just constant rain, wasn't it? Every day for like 3 months.
And this one lasted till April as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were having periods of like 3 weeks of just complete grey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Given an element of England.
Yeah. But still really hot at the same time.
Brutally humid. Yeah.
I mean, we can circle back to our decision to come here. We said, let's maybe do 3 months, 6 months, see where we're at. Move on to Oz. I think we settled in pretty well, didn't we? And here we are 2 years later.
Yeah, it was almost, well, for me, just talking about myself personally, it was like, what am I looking for in Australia that's kind of not here at this stage? It was like awesome gym, awesome fitness community, food's cheap, you can eat out all the time, you've got everything on your doorstep in terms of convenience as well. You don't get that unless you're paying ridiculous money to live in the centre of somewhere like Bondi maybe. Even then you probably wouldn't even have the free time or the schedule to be able to make use of everything. Like here you can beach, you can sauna, you can gym, you can train and still get 8-9 hours of work in the same day because everything's
I think that's
so
the biggest
accessible.
thing. It's like the most efficient lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah,
because you eat out everywhere. While you're ordering your food, you could be doing work or whatever while you're waiting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like so much opportunity to get work in.
The gyms are set up with co-working space. You roll out of the gym, shower, and you're into it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the gym's just nuts now. It's got sauna, plunge, swimming pool, jacuzzi.
You could never leave the gym if you wanted to.
Yeah, there's people that don't.
Yeah.
They spend more time there than me.
Yeah.
Which is not good. Since we've been here, we lived together for the first year and a half, roughly.
Yeah.
We moved 4 times together, I think, or 5. Yeah, 4 times. Multiple houses.
There's a few good experiences in experiencing the Bali real estate across the board.
So first villa we were in for 2 months. It was great, but I just felt like we were in a holiday villa, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then we moved to another villa that was just terrible.
That was awful. Yeah, that is the small one, the long bench. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was funny. So basically, my bedroom was an entire pane of glass on one side, and that happened to also be where the sun would rise. Yeah. So the sun would be beaming straight in. Not that the sun comes up super early here, but it was through December that we were here. So there was like a few birthdays, a few Christmas celebrations, which meant absolutely no catching up on sleep from because they were up at the crack of dawn every single day. The doors wouldn't shut properly. We'd end up with like dogs and insects pouring through the gaps in the doors. Not dogs pouring through the gaps.
I think the main feature from that house, which was good, was when we used the shower, the swimming pool would empty.
Oh God, yeah. We were like, oh, that's a strange looking swimming pool, and then didn't think anything of it. But yeah, as we used the water for the house, it was draining, wasn't it? So it was actually storage for the water.
I think, like, full disclosure for people that don't live in Bali or maybe have never been here, there's running water, but it's not accessible for you to drink or to wash with without a filter, really, is there?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's probably one of the main things I would say that I miss from Western society.
Tap water.
Yeah, it's good. It's good being home and having some water for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, can't catch yourself falling back into old habits here.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would be a month in the hospital with an IV sticking out your arm.
We then moved on to kind of a house that we were in for about a year, weren't we?
Yeah.
Which was great. Like, awesome location, easy route into the gym with no traffic. And yeah, then we thought we were going to move on, didn't we, to pastures new when they said our year was up. We decided to move out a week early, and then I'll let you take the story from there.
So yeah, we moved into the house opposite, basically, wasn't it? pretty small cluster of houses, so things are relatively close. But living in the house opposite for 2 weeks or so, maybe a little bit longer, I was at home on my own, just working, and I heard this almighty bang, and I thought, that was so loud. It was like over my noise cancelling headphones, and it was obviously like not super close. So there must have been like a big, I don't know, explosion, or maybe I thought something like the builders had dropped the cement mixer out the back of a truck, something of that nature. And kind of just put my headphones back in and carried on working, but only for another 15 or so minutes, because then I left to go to the gym, and our old cleaner was waiting outside just in the road and said, Aaron, big problem, as I was about to leave. And it's like, what? He said, come in here and have a look. And no word of a lie, the roof had completely collapsed on our old house in the living room, which we used to make use of quite a lot, or all the time basically. So the roof is like an A-frame, and it just collapsed from the center. So all of the terracotta tiles, like classic Balinese terracotta tiles that they have, quite small as well, so there's a lot of them, were just in the living room, along with all of the dust, debris, and everything else from the roof, essentially. But
I think if on that sofa would have been toast, wouldn't we?
Yeah, the sofa was completely buried underneath everything. And yeah, just the time period that we'd spent in the new house versus how we were supposed to still be in that house was crazy. Yeah,
we were supposed to still be in until the end of December, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then I think we moved out on like the last day of November.
Yeah.
So yeah, lucky escape.
It was crazy walking into a place which you'd been living in, and then just looking up and there being
Nothing.
Roof. Not just like a part of the roof, absolutely no roof whatsoever had come down. Yeah. Well, the whole roof had come down in one. Just looking at like the nice pink Balinese sky.
A couple of weeks before that, there was like, things are not built the best here, right? Let's get that straight. There's no building standards or anything like that.
No.
And there was a little bit of a gap in the corner, and I was saying to Hats, I'm sure that gap's getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure like a little bit of old cement had broken off and fell on me one day on the sofa, and I was just like, didn't really think that much of it. And then it's just like unbelievable how that could happen. And then the rainy season had like just about started then, hadn't it? And it started a little bit later in December, and then it was just constant. And I remember we moved across the road, hadn't we? And we were looking at the roof, and it was exactly the same. And we were thinking, oh no, what's going to happen here?
We were planning escape routes, thinking what was going to be the safest option, which is the strongest archway to run to. If we ever noticed it was actually going to go.
Yeah. It was actually really cool moving into that other house. We were house sitting, weren't we, for some friends that moved to Australia and dog sitting. That's quite a fun experience with the dog, fun and bad at the same time.
Yeah, good to have a little companion, but not so fun clearing up his shit in the morning.
I have one of the funniest messages on my phone is from you, and it's just like, do not step out of your bedroom until I've cleared this up.
It was not just shit either. It was like full doggy diarrhea.
Yeah.
With the smell to match.
Yeah, bless her. She's looking for a new home now. If anyone wants a dog, her parents are moving.
Yeah, drop a comment if you want a dog.
Drop a comment if you want a dog that has been homed for a while.
Yeah.
Other than the million strays that we do have. One thing I wanted to touch on was just training and injuries. I just had a flashback of the QL injury that you had in the gym, and then kind of how you worked around it and got back pretty quickly to full fitness. Yeah,
it was a case of doing a fairly intense workout, lots of GHD sit-ups, and it was actually...
Deadlifts as well, was it?
I don't think it was deadlifts in that
workout.
Very possible that there was plenty of deadlifts in the program at that time. But it was actually when I was doing double unders, and I just hit the floor like a sack of shit in front of everyone, just because it went. And it was basically the back just going into a bit of a protection response as a result of something to that was just enough to cause that protection response. So the injury itself wasn't too severe, but dealing with the response from it was worse than worse than expected, basically, especially riding around on a scooter afterwards when everything was just super sore. Oh god, yeah, it was horrendous, especially that day after it had happened. That will stay with me for a long time, trying to ride as slow as possible, all hunched up. But yeah, it was a case of kind of re-teaching my body that it could move, twist, and be safe through a full range of motion again, without needing to go into that protection response. And it did take a while, but
you had to kind of discover like what worked and what didn't, and what triggered it. I think that's kind of what I wanted to touch on. Like, for a lot of people, they would have just steered away from any kind of back movement or pelvis movement at all. But it was like, get back in the gym to see what you can do. Then there was a few things was like, absolutely not, I can't do that.
Yeah.
It would flare up straight away, or there was other stuff that's like, oh, that's fine, let's continue to do more of that.
Yeah, and it was a case of just taking out a lot of dynamic stuff, to be honest, to start with, because obviously I was on like a competitive CrossFit program. There's loads of stuff where you're moving dynamically, you're potentially compromised in positions, so yeah, like taking things back to super basic movements. And like, what you wouldn't expect is that I was deadlifting within a week heavy again, but because it's like a static plane of motion, it's nothing too crazy.
Yeah, it was more the like high level gymnastics, wasn't it, that was causing some
that kind of extension and flexion through the rib cage, and like any kind of movement where I was taken into extension quickly was where it was causing issue. But yeah, lots of like slow rotations to kind of build that confidence again, as well as kind of build a bit of T-spine strength as well. And then just nice and basic movement patterns and managing the load sensibly. And sure enough, it wasn't too long to get back to things. But probably on the topic of injuries and health issues, worth mentioning some of your own as well. There's a long year of
a long year of just stop start. I was gearing up to do the open to begin with, and then was like one back squat session, I think 3 days before the start. I had like felt like my quad tendon had rolled up my leg for some reason. I never had any problems with my quads or anything like that before. So that was that, and then came back from that pretty quickly, and then just had more problems with my eye, which is still pretty bad, to be honest. So if there's any eye doctors listening to this, or anyone that knows anyone,
we'll shout you out if you can fix Macca's eye.
So I have something called a severe retinal occlusion, which basically means blood goes into the eye, but it hemorrhages there and causes vision loss rather than going away from it. So there's some blood flow issues somewhere within my eyeball, which is something doctors don't know why it's happening. They just know what's happening, which isn't very useful. I obviously flew to Australia and spent 3 weeks there trying to sort it out, and couldn't.
A bit of an emergency trip to Australia as well, worth mentioning.
Yeah, I mean, I came home from the gym and I've been training and sat down on the sofa, and then vision just completely went in both eyes, and I was like, it should only really be one. And I remember, I think I called you or I messaged you, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to Oz. You're like, when? I was like, tomorrow morning or tonight, or it was like straight away, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really quick turnaround. I think I didn't even see you before you went. I think you just went.
Yeah, I think we just went.
Yeah,
that's it. Because I remember not even seeing you. Left you in the lurk with the dog and the. I don't think there was any mishaps with the diarrhea at that point.
No, she kept the cork.
Kept it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 weeks in, I was just like in and out of hospital, loads of tests, and they basically told me what I'd already knew, which was I still couldn't see, but they didn't know why was happening. So that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of still at the minute. But yeah, apart from that, injury wise, it's not been too bad. Managed to get into some high rocks comps and stuff, and now slowly moving back into some CrossFit workouts and stuff like that, which is good.
Yeah, like I kind of alluded to it before with social media posts and stuff, but I think the heat and the climate here has the potential to exaggerate anything you're feeling as well. So something you might have been able to get back to training with a little bit sooner, maybe in a cooler climate in the UK, you probably have to take like a little bit of extra time here, or any symptoms that you're dealing with, just they just get that little
I
bit
was trying
more
to eliminate some
exaggerated.
stuff with my eye, like, is it the heat? I trained in the aircon for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I was like, that's not making no difference. Hydration obviously here is even more important than anywhere else that's cooler in the world, especially at the minute. Humidity is ridiculous, so that's a big thing. And when people are here, they feel like they recover more, and they get like lured into this false sense of security of like their body's feeling good, but they're just drilling themselves into dehydration. And
it's also with holiday vibes as well. People are excited. I remember our first session in Bamboo, we were like jet lag still, but then all of a sudden walked in there and we're like,
hang power cleans.
Yeah, that's it. Like
straight off the plane,
3 RM or something. But that's the danger.
Yeah, we kind of learnt from a few of those mistakes, which has been good.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you want to touch on in terms of being here for 2 years? I feel like there's so much stuff that we've done, but we've hardly scraped the surface.
Yeah, it's hard to paint a complete picture when you're talking about 2 years, but that's the thing. The time just flies here, like we were saying. It feels like, probably for me, feels like I've been here about a whole year now. But coming towards 2 years is just ridiculous. And I don't know what that's down to, but potentially down to the days actually being quite short here. The sun comes up at like 6:30 and it goes down at 6:30.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, so evenings here aren't much of a thing. Like in the UK during the summer especially, you might be doing stuff till like 9-10 p.m.
I did notice that when I was home like 2 weeks ago. Got to 8 p.m. and I thought, fucking, this is the longest day ever. Yeah. So I haven't seen sunlight for that long period in one day. Yeah,
I mean, at least you sleep well. That's the thing when it's like that. But then also you've got the fact that here, like we said before, everything's so productive, and most of the time you enjoy what you're doing as well. So time seems to fly in that aspect. You're never kind of watching the clock or waiting for lunch break or anything like that. So it seems to fly in all aspects, and the weeks are just rattling by.
I think one thing that I love about being here is say if you're like, do you want to, like in England, if you try and do something with your mates, you got to do like fucking 6 weeks of planning to get everyone together. Here is such like a small little town, beachy town, I would guess. I don't know what the word for it would be. It's not really a town, it's more of like a
it's
I don't know what you would describe it as.
Somewhere in between a tourist seaside town, I suppose. But it's hard because there's so many people coming just for short periods of time and then going. The actual like expat community, if you like, although we're just kind of dotted around Uluwatu, it's not that big really, is it?
It's not big at all. But in just going back to that point, it's like I love just being able to be like, do you want to go and do this? And you're like, it's like the weekend you were out on the bikes,
motocross enduro trip.
You're just like, do you want to do an enduro trip to like whoever's in the gym? And they're like, I'll just go this weekend. There's no like everyone here has like families and stuff as well, but they're just more open to just being like, let's go and do it. Do you know what I mean?
That's kind of like part of the reason probably why they're here in the first place, which is always a good start. And you're kind of just pushing more like-minded people together to start with, plus the fact it's affordable, plus the fact the weather's good, plus there's like quite a positive vibe around everything. People are in good shape, people want to do stuff, so it kind of complements itself.
I think that's something that you become so accustomed to, is how good of shape people are in.
The lack of fat fuck.
That live it. I remember getting back to England and I was thinking, I've seen more like overweight people within 20 minutes of being in Stansted Airport than I have in 2 years. I think it's just partly down to the way of life here is like fitness. You're on the move like constantly. And yeah, I always think like when I see older people here, like local Indonesian people, they're always like in like good nick.
Yeah.
Because they're still like riding their scooters around at like 60, 70, 80. I don't know if you've noticed that as well. Or they're like carrying stuff, they're making stuff, they're gardening,
Yeah, definitely like that low level activity. They don't stop. They're by no means fitness freaks, because the Indonesian population is definitely
not known for their fitness.
Yeah, definitely not known for their fitness, and they are known for their smoking habit. I think it's like 80% of the population are smoking like a pack a day.
Yeah.
But outside of that, they do keep chugging on. They just keep moving.
It's their general
and they keep
activity.
Squatting arse to grass at every opportunity as well, which I think helps. But yeah, even like the expats that are here, you know, it's just a lifestyle. People have got their kit off. People are surfing. People are active. There's no desire to be that much of like a homebod which stays in, watches films, and, you know, has that kind of slightly more unhealthy lifestyle which you might get in maybe it's colder environments that
I think it's the biggest thing. It's like the environment that you're in, right? Like in England, you're a bit of an outsider if you want to like go out all the time, go to the gym, just like be active constantly. And the weather in the winter can completely change your mindset and discipline around that as well. So yeah, environment is like so important. Just like, it's so funny, isn't it? Like you see it, an Indonesian person sit down into the bottom of a squat and it's like completely demoralizing.
Yeah.
But that's just like what they do every day in their day-to-day life. Whereas like in England, there's just a comfortable chair to sit on constantly.
Yeah.
And kind of to the detriment of
the population.
Of the population, do you know what I mean? You just become a part of your environment, don't you?
Yeah, it's so funny how something as simple as that can be different in day-to-day life, just in a different country, because of, you know, for whatever reason they've just not prioritised setting a chair up at every opportunity. So they just bang a squat, and you think that'll take me 4 sets of isometrics and
3 sets of leg extensions to get down there,
and some heavy bands to prep myself to be dragging my ass along the curb like that.
Oh, so good. Yeah. Before we wrap up, the kind of direction we want to take the pod in, we're going to have some guests on.
I think that's really exciting with comparison to what we've done before. Yeah. Having some chats, especially with the people that we've met in these last 2 years. There's definitely some good conversations to be had, and as well as the caliber of the individual. Like there's some cool people which are floating about. Yeah. So I think our next pod we'll be having a guest on. There'll be lots of good fitness chat in there. Just finding more out about other people as well, and hearing their stories and seeing what people want to relate to and get stuck into with that as well. Absolutely. And yeah, hopefully some good takes from maybe people that have started out in different parts of the world as well. I'm sure there will be people from the UK as well, because obviously there's quite a few people here from the UK. I think fitness draws people here from the UK more so than anything else. You've got a massive surfing demographic, which is not huge in the UK, is it? Yeah. For obvious reasons, but those people are coming from kind of Australia, New Zealand, also South America as well. But yeah, fitness seems to be what draws us a lot here. Yeah, we will have some Aussies on the pod. We'll provide subtitles if needed. Yeah. Yeah, just to get some spaces between the words rather than it being but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then it will be either myself or you on some of the pods, or both of us. And yeah, some less monotone voices. Yeah, not from us. That's going to stay. That's going to stay. That'll be the same. So get used to that. Yeah, you can rely on the consistency of that. Yeah. Don't worry. Cool. I think let's wrap up. If there's any pod sponsors that want to get involved. Yeah, Aqua, we've been kindly giving you a hammer in. So yeah, BGS, if you're listening to this, free coffee would be good as well. Yeah, wouldn't go amiss. Cool. See you in episode 2. Let's go.